Welcome to Conscious Chronicles, where I explore the profound and transformative experiences that touch the very essence of our being. Let's dive into today's story, a deeply personal account written by a woman who experienced it firsthand. Her journey is one of life, death, and the enduring connections that transcend this world. Let's hear her story in her own words. My name is Jane, and this is my story. In the year 2000, I was pregnant with my second child, a time that should have been filled with joy and anticipation. But life had dealt me some tough hands. I was in my mid-20s, married to my high school sweetheart, and we had already navigated the challenges of becoming parents while still in high school. I had just landed my first job that required the college degree I had worked so hard for. Also my husband, who was also starting his first job after college. But despite these milestones, we were struggling financially, emotionally, and in our relationship. To make matters worse, I was still grappling with the loss of my father, who had been my rock. He passed away when I was 16 after a long and grueling battle with cancer. His death left a void in my life that I carried with me into adulthood. The pain of his absence was something I felt every day, especially as I faced the challenges of young parenthood and the strains of life. At 6 months pregnant, I started to notice changes. My vision became blurry, I was often dizzy, and headaches plagued me. At first, these symptoms were dismissed as typical pregnancy discomforts. My lab results were normal, and my blood pressure seemed fine. But deep down, I knew something wasn't right. As the weeks went by, my symptoms only worsened. By 35 weeks, my condition had become too serious to ignore. I was diagnosed with toxemia, also known as preeclampsia, a condition that can be life-threatening for both mother and child. Toxemia is marked by dangerously high blood pressure and can lead to severe complications, including organ damage. In my case, the situation was urgent. I was immediately induced into labor. My son was born just 4 hours after the diagnosis, a healthy, perfect baby boy. But for me, the ordeal was far from over. Instead of the relief and joy that usually accompanies childbirth, I found myself slipping deeper into a state of physical and emotional distress. My blood pressure soared to alarming levels, and I began to lose consciousness intermittently. I was confined to my hospital bed, unable to hold my newborn son. The pain, both physical and emotional, was overwhelming. The hospital room, once bustling with family members eager to meet the new arrival, became a place of isolation for me. The pain and fear were unbearable, but I couldn't find the words to express what I was going through. Sensing the gravity of the situation, the nurse limited visitors to just one person, my mother, who stayed by my side as my husband took our daughter for a break. As the day wore on, exhaustion began to take its toll. I closed my eyes, thinking I might drift off to sleep. But instead, something extraordinary happened. A sensation of lightness enveloped me, as if a great weight had been lifted. I felt myself begin to float, not in a dream, but in a space that felt more real than anything I had ever known. A warm, radiant light appeared in the distance, and I was drawn to it, moving effortlessly towards its embrace. Everything around me was dark, yet I was not afraid. In fact, I had never felt more at peace. The light brought with it an overwhelming sense of love and warmth, a joy that transcended any earthly happiness I had ever experienced. The physical pain, the emotional turmoil, all of it melted away in the presence of this light. I wanted nothing more than to stay in this place, to be enveloped by the love that surrounded me. And then, to my utter shock and comfort, I heard my father's voice, clear and unmistakable. But it wasn't just his voice. It was as if I could feel him, smell him, sense him in every way possible. He called me Princess, the nickname he always used, and told me it wasn't my time. I was stunned, unable to understand why I couldn't stay. I protested, telling him how wonderful it felt, how much I wanted to be with him in this place of perfect peace. But he was firm. "It's not your time," he said again. "You have 2 beautiful children who need you. You need to fight for them." In that moment, I felt a deep conflict. The warmth of the light was so inviting, so comforting, that leaving it seemed unthinkable. But the thought of my children, of the life they would face without me, gave me the strength to make a choice. Reluctantly, I decided to fight. As soon as I made that decision, the light began to fade, and I felt myself being pulled back into my body. The warmth, the peace, the love, it all receded, replaced by the harsh reality of the hospital room. But something had changed. My blood pressure began to stabilize, the physical pain diminished, and for the first time in days, I felt a sense of clarity and purpose. I knew I had been given a second chance, not just for myself, but for my children. For years, I kept this experience to myself, unsure of how to explain it, or even if anyone would believe me. It wasn't until much later, during a conversation with my mother, that I shared what had happened. She listened, then quietly revealed that during that critical time, she'd noticed a profound change. One moment, I had been restless, as if battling something unseen. And then suddenly, I had become calm, peaceful, as if touched by something beyond this world. Reflecting on my experience, I no longer fear death. I know that when my time does come, it will be a reunion with the love and warmth that I once glimpsed, a feeling that I now know is waiting for me, whenever that time may be. Thank you for joining us on this journey. This story is a powerful reminder of the strength we carry within us and the connections that reach beyond the physical world. What do you think of this story? I would love to hear from you in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more incredible stories like this, right here on Conscious Chronicles, where the mysteries of the soul are revealed. Take care.